Alright, so here's another fun project to do. We're using Dixie Belle products. I take the mud. It doesn't matter what color, but this is white, of course, so you take the mud, and I tape a stencil fast to my piece and scoop out a little. It's thick, like icing. Spread it across your stencil, getting it in every opening. I keep a wet rag handy because if you do get it out on the color, this is a primer. What I put on is I took slick stick because this was an old dresser and I wanted to make sure my paint stuck fast. It was really super shiny. So I mixed slick stick with some black because I didn't want white. Okay, and you get this all smeared in. Don't leave any empty. After you get it all smeared in, I don't think I left any out. After you get it all smeared in, then you go back and take it off. Like that. And I just put it back in the jar. Squeegee it back into the jar. There it is. So then you pull up your stencil and voila. Now that's raised, so it's texturized. You can feel it. And you can see, I did this one. I took, after this, the slick stick, I used Stormy Seas paint, went over top of this way after it was dry on here, and then you can see, let me move this one, then you can see what it does with the paint. See how it's raised? So that raised detail is going to hold wax. So now I'm going to go back with black wax and it's going to really make that detail stand out. Okay, I did all of them with the stencil. The raised stencil with the Dixie mud. So I did them all. Now it's time for the next step. So, next step is painting. And like I said, I'm using Stormy Seas. So I always start spraying my paintbrush with distilled water. Reason distilled water is because you're going into your paint container like so, and with any kind of water that is not distilled, it's going to grow bacteria, mold, etc. So it will cross-contaminate from your brush into your paint, and then your paint will grow mold. So always use distilled water on your paintbrush. And even like if your paint gets too thick, when you're painting something, you can spray. Like this isn't dragging or doing that to me, so that's probably because I started with a wet paintbrush. But I will even spray my project with water, distilled water, just to get things smooth, get out the brush strokes, and it just gives it more of a self-leveling layer of paint. A lot smoother. Okay, so I'm going to do each one like this with the paint. And then after that's dry, that's when I'm going to add the black wax to make the detail of the stencil come out, because like I said, it's raised because of the mud. Okay, I'm going to show you one. I'm going to show you one that I already did, because I did one before I went ahead and did all of them, because sometimes it's nice to test. Sometimes it's nice to test a technique before you follow through with it, in case it's not what you want. So I did one drawer, and after I did the paint, I did Mama's butter, because again, anytime I'm going on with black wax, I always put a barrier in between. It helps me control the black. If you wouldn't, this would be a lot darker. But that's how the black wax shows the detail of the stencil. See, it came out a lot better. And that's when I decided to go ahead and paint all the drawers like this, because I liked how it came out. Okay, after I painted the Stormy Seas on there, then I came back with the black wax. And then buffed the black wax. So you can see the black wax, how it gives it it's raised, so it gives it detail. So then the last thing I'm going to do with this is I'm going to use a satin clear coat, because of course this is going to get a lot of wear with somebody opening and closing drawers to a dresser. So that's the technique, using the mud, Dixie Belle mud, with a stencil, and it comes out pretty cute. Thanks for watching.